How large is the use of online therapy? Is it something that a lot of people are doing, and is it likely to grow in the future?
Well, this is one of the reasons I got back into this. I actually had to stop. I was hurt in a car accident, and I had to stop for a number of years. And a couple summers ago, I started looking at just some keywords because, I've been online a lot of this time, just haven't been doing the behavioral telehealth or telemental health work. And I realized there are a surprising number of practitioners that have moved online. And I think part of that is because the national associations haven't been as forthcoming as at least I would like to see in the last 15 years with specifics about how to do it or not do it. And I think part of that is the literature hasn't been as robust in our areas, as our areas meaning telemental health in general and not just psychiatry, as I would like to see either. So if we're going to look at what's happening in the institutional settings, there's a lot of literature there. If we're going to look at what's happening online, there's not a lot of literature, but practitioners have access to common public delivery mechanisms such as Google Talk or Skype, or Uvu is an interesting one where you can tile up 6 people at one time. You see 6 people at one time. And iChat is for the Mac now. And those are available to consumers for free. So they're available to practitioners for free. And so I see a lot of people doing that. And I did some keywords research on this a couple of years ago and saw that the number is growing exponentially. As a matter of fact, I was preparing some slides for a presentation I was doing and noticed that in February of this year, I could pull up for 4 keywords: online counseling with 2 L's, as opposed to the 1 L, which is the most common use online, and online therapy as well as online psychotherapy. For those 4 keywords, I could pull up over 500,000 search results where I put quotes around them. So I'm doing a very specific search to see who is specifically addressing that in their keyword string when they're advertising their websites. And 500,000. But the interesting thing is now we are literally 3 months away, and that number has gotten to be 1.7 million.
Wow, just in 3 months.
So it's more than tripled.
Wow.
And so there's a beat, there's a pulse to this online. You can actually, if you're online long enough, you can feel these, you can get a sense of where all this is going. And I think that is alarming because most of the people have not gotten specific training. So that's one of the reasons that I've decided to come back and say, hey gang, here's all the research I've looked into, I've found, here's the experience I've had, and here's a model that works, that I find works for me anyway, and for the people that I've trained. So I felt compelled to come back and say this to people.
I also wonder how many of those people are licensed. And I want to get into that a little later, but is there anything stopping anybody from saying they offer online counseling currently? No,
the guy next door could set up a website and say they're offering online counseling, and the consumer out there really couldn't, if they have a well-developed website, they really wouldn't know the difference unless they were to call a licensing board.
All right, well, I understand from what you've said that medicine has really been doing this kind of work for quite a while. Are there any lessons that they've learned that maybe we can apply to mental health as it becomes more emergent in the future?
Absolutely. There's a 30 to 50 year literature in this area in the medical world, so it's quite substantial, and they have looked at pretty much every diagnostic category, treated people with medication, not as many without medication because psychiatry is what's been called into play a lot here. But if we look at psychology and counseling, there are a fair number of practitioners that work in military settings, in correctional facilities, in nursing homes, and schools, and they have learned a lot about how to work with all kinds of people.